it's just there's too much hype, you know. There's like sometimes you look at dates and you look at what's going on with the option chains, and you're like, oh man, like maybe this is it, you know, kind of stuff, you know, because there's a few things I was kind of looking at. I'm like, okay, maybe this is it. But as I'm tracking it, like, you know, you see there's algo slowdowns, and you know, things doesn't play out as it, you know, as it's supposed to be. But and there's too much hype dates in April 20th, and I just kind of wanted to maybe start from here. So this was my post that GameStop might have a recall of 2020 cycles, and I think as I was kind of tracking between last year, April May when Roaring Kitty got in, and I was also kind of still back of my mind. I still you know, kept that 2020 cycle because we might go through that, because AMC is also going through similar. They're running these 2020 cycles again, so why not GME? So back of my mind, I always thought there will be possible scenario of 2020 recall, and then today I'm gonna show you. I have a better fractals than last week that I kind of figured out, and then today I'm gonna show you why GME will have a minus at least 10% pullback from today, and then I mean, we already have a pullback today, right? So we already have I already made a post here before the market opens, and my maybe this is my post before market opens. I was my phone 7 a.m. Eastern time. So 2 hours before market opens, I was kind of tracking. So previously I was tracking the RSIs, and you know, I realized maybe this might be it. And then based on this, as you see, there's a blue line here. This blue line is connected from last year May high. So from last year May high, June high, and you know, whatever the thumb waves happen, you know, it touches all the points, and this is kind of where we at. So you see there's a, if I pull out the snipping tool and just kind of explain to you. So from last year May high, you know, whatever the, you know, thumb waves hits here, hit also here, right? So hit all these points, and the stock price cannot break this thing until they reach the final wedge, which is end of April or possibly early May, but somewhere there. So, and then I saw that, and I post this at 7 a.m. And we did see a pullback today, was about, I think, couple percent. There's some movements, you know, in the overnight trading, but still almost a 2%, right? Close there. But so I think there's possibility, and I'm gonna show you much more other chart such as NVDA, why market will have a pullback by April, end of April. Another thing I noticed was BYON. So I know not many people are maybe not interested in BYON, but I thought that you know, I could share that, because BYON seems to have a pullback about minus 50%, and I'm gonna share that with you today. I don't know if I mentioned this one before, but maybe I'll start with this one. So this is BYON, right? So BYON went through the huge accumulation phase, and I'm gonna come back to GameStop after this, because I want to just show you a bigger picture, right? Overall market, right? So this is BYON, right? So you know, last time I mentioned about BYON shortly, how after they tank it down, so there's always a bull run, right? Bull cycle. This is another bull cycle, right? As you can see, so there's a cycle, right? I mean, you guys know there's a cycle, right? The point is, you know, we have to figure out where the, you know, where we at exactly. So after bull cycle ends, there's a bear cycle, all the Ukraine, the Russian war, whatever those kind of, you know, things happen during this bear cycle, right? Interesting, right? After that, they created this kind of huge M shape, right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, already 3 here, right? So I think we are almost BYON is almost at the tipping points where it's creating a final M shape, right? I mean, it's bigger than M shape here, but you know what I mean. It's the same thing that they're kind of playing out here. I don't know, it's a market maker. I don't know whoever forces behind it. I think it's mostly market maker. But that's kind of pretty much they're making a wedge, right? Once this thing is done, this thing will kick off the bull run, right? I'm talking about BYON here. And then this BYON, they launch. I want to talk about BYON shortly because I'm not here to say like, hey, this is bottom, you should buy whatever. It's up to you. I'm not financial advisor. None of this should take as a financial advice, but I think something's gonna happen in the earning, which also happened here, March 2020, after COVID events happened. It hit the bottom and start to kick off the bull run. And I think there's also I did a research and I've done research before about BYON. Patrick Byrne, crashed the short sellers by issuing a digital security, blockchain-based digital security here. And they said July 30th will be granted to shareholders record of September 23 as a digital dividend, right? So as you guys know, probably I know Bad Bath Beyond shareholders know probably better what's going on at the Beyond, but they're currently working on, I don't know if it's already done, but they're working on a bye baby tokenized shares. And I think they're gonna launch it, right? They're like they know what they're doing. Like I mean I'm pretty sure like PP doesn't like Marcus Lemonis. I don't know about that guy too. He seems pretty sketchy, but I saw his insider buying, right? I think he knows, to be honest with you. If insider doesn't buy around here and then he talks shit, that means maybe it's a bearish, right? But the fact that Marcus Lemonis is continuing to purchase here, you see there's a whole buy section. Okay, so this is another chart which is called insiderviz.com, right? And then I mean this is really a no-brainer, guys, right? You see all this buy happening, insiders, and after that this bull run happened, right? Like just look at the chart and also when the insider buy happens. This is 2020. This is 2020. All the insider buy happens, bull run happens, they sell at the top, right? Where does insider buying is happening right now? It's all happening here. Marcus Lemonis talks shit about Bad Bath Beyond, maybe, the shareholders, blah blah blah, but he's already buying it. I think they know. They know what's going on. Okay? In my opinion, NFA, right? Patrick Byrne is still second top, insider. He's not selling. Why is that? Why this guy is buying here, everywhere? When you ask questions, why? You might wonder, stock price continue to plunge. Why Marcus Lemonis continue to purchase his shares and other insiders? He also recently purchased too, March 13, another 100K. So you might wonder why. Here he bought in here, he bought here, he bought here. He buy all the dips. Okay. So when you look at the fractally, right? If you understand fractal or if you believe in fractal, doesn't matter whether you believe or not. This thing is going to launch after April, end of April, after they hit the bottom, and then something's gonna happen in the earning. They're gonna launch something. They could launch in that spot during that earning session, or it could hit with the filings after maybe a few days or a week with the SEC filings. Something's gonna happen, and then that will trigger the short sellers to cover their short positions with BYON shares because they cannot deliver bye baby tokenized shares under the T0, right? So it's the same fractals. They're still running. And I just want to let you know that BYON, look at this. This is one of the presentation I made for my YouTube channel, and then I brought it here so that because I did quite a bit of research. And when you look at this, this is actually from Yahoo Finance. If you short the stock, how are you going to deliver crypto, right? You have no way of delivering it. So you're like, okay, well, I have to cover this stock because I can't deliver the dividend, right? So there's so that's the thing, they do there's a bunch of ways to kill the naked short sellers, but you look at number 4, issue trackable special dividend. There you go. Right? So so I think BYON will use number 4. So I think that's one of the way. But anyway, so yeah, just want to talk about it. So as you can see, BYON is here. It's kind of final capitulation here, final like a final one, and then right now it looks like at 80 cents, but this is using I think different settings. So this should be supposed to be $1.70 or something. So I'm gonna go back and show you here. Yeah, $1.70, right? Yeah, $1.70 or $1.45, whatever. But something there, probably around $1.50 or something. Somewhere there will be the final bottom. As you can see, it's forming a wedge, and that's the bottom. After earning, something happened and start to kick up the bull run. So, not financial advice, but if you have any interest in this company, if you think you have done DD enough, I think you could have a quite a lot of success with just buying stocks on this one, because not financial advice, I'm just saying. So because I know the fact that they're gonna use Bye Bye Baby dividend, because there's a reason why they purchased IP, not the entire company. They bought IP of Bye Bye Baby for a reason, right? And they're gonna trigger that, and then they're gonna trigger a short squeeze using Bye Bye Baby tokenized shares. So that's that. So BYON will have its own final bottoming phase by April. Okay, this is a little messy, but I'm gonna just clear it up here 1 second. But so we are somewhere here. There's gonna be a final capitulation, but I don't know. Like, so a lot of people talks about the 420, right? And then I do see, I do understand, like, oh yeah, maybe there's something's gonna happen. So, but I have no fucking idea. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna be announced, right? I don't know. Nobody knows. It's just all speculation at this point. But something seems going to trigger. I mean, this is gonna tank anyway, but something's gonna happen on 420. I don't know. It could be acquisitions or Bye Bye Baby. I have no idea. But something triggered BYON, and this gonna hit the final capitulation until the earning. It will drop minus 60, 50, more, maybe 70%. What kind of issue they have to? What kind of problem they have to? Not even problem. Sorry. What do they have to do to bring the price down that much? And maybe it's, of course, maybe short seller attack, right? Short attack. What triggered to short this much? I have no idea, but something's going to happen with BYON, so we'll see what's going to happen on April 20th on Sunday. Maybe they announce acquisitions, or I don't know, maybe I don't know, something happens, and we'll see. I clearly don't know what's going to happen with BYON, but I know the fact that BYON is one of the, as you all the Bat BYON play, the shareholders understand that BYON is also a part of the plan, right? For the Teddy Holdings, So maybe Carl Icahn could comes in and maybe do something. I have no idea. So we'll see. Like, maybe this is one of the plays. So I'm just telling you, something's gonna happen with BYON. Okay, just watch BYON next 2 weeks. Something's gonna happen on Sunday, and when the market opens, gap down and just like tank it like crazy. If that happened, I'm just telling you, if you see $1 like 50 or like 30, something like that, like that's like a final bottom. And when this thing start to kick off after maybe they possibly announce digital dividend and stuff like that, just like fucking bull run, Okay, like I just cannot imagine how this much go, but if it did actually end up going this much, let's say $1.50. And then there's a gap here. It's like it go almost like 20k%. So something's definitely is going to happen. We'll see. And then this heading into bull run, right? It's the same thing, making an M-shaped bull run and making M-shaped bull run, making huge M-shape. Now you're gonna start bull run. So now you see BYON, right? Now I want to talk about NVDA before I jump into GME and AMC, right? I've been tracking NVDA, And then I want to just show you the chart here. This is not NVIDIA, I'm sorry. So this was my post back in 2024, December. Market NVIDIA crashed minus 6% from February to April. You know, so I was anyway. So I was seeing about almost the top, and then start to seeing a crash, and then it did happen, right? I mean, it didn't happen minus 60, but it went like minus 30. But at least something's it dropped, right? So based on from that's like the oldest one. So now I did a clear, much more a clear update here. So this is the yellow fractals is the financial crisis, the 2008 financial crisis fractal, and it does seem that it has a huge fluctuation here and there, but it does seem that it's making a big, I mean, it's making very similar to 208, right? And that it does seems to me that NVIDIA also will have a crash. I mean, not crash. Will have a pullback by end of April. So which means that the big tech stock is pulling back and going towards the final the wedge of the tipping points here, tip points here. So it seems like it's making a downside until end of April, maybe April 28 or something like that, and then this thing will start to start to moving up, and then based on this. So which means that end of April is the final bottom for the NVIDIA as well, right? Based on this fractals that I have it here, right? So which means it makes sense for BYON, right? As mentioned, BYON will have its its own downside. Something will happen maybe April 20 for BYON, have a huge crash, minus 50-70%, and then that will be the bottom before heading into a bull run, right? And then possible bye bye baby digital dividend as they're preparing for with a T0. So there's definitely set up there. I think there's definitely active investors involved with BYON for sure. But anyway, so they understand the market, they're using the market, they work with the market, and they just when the time comes, they just let it go. And then after after NVIDIA pullback by end of April, they do go up and down, and then making a double bottom. And then start to pushing up upside. So I think a lot of people who buy puts, just be careful. I know there are people who bought SQQ. Maybe some people leverage themselves with much more downside. Just be careful. This thing will destroy you here. So just be careful with SQQ or whatever leverage, whatever put options you guys have. You guys will get destroyed here. After that. So basically, from end of June, so basically the summer to the fall, there's gonna be a little bit of a run. And during this phase, GameStop will have a run too. So I'm gonna come back to GME after I explain NVIDIA. Just overall bigger fractal. I just want you to look at, because I don't want to just talk about today just GME or AMC or just specific stock. I just want to talk about with a bigger picture, and then start to getting into smaller picture with the specific stocks, because I think it's much better to maybe look at that way. So that's kind of how I see from June to end of June, so basically summer to fall, market rally. Okay. So it looks like maybe market makers need some liquidity to boost themselves, and then there's gonna be huge pullback. So I think they're anticipating this one, right? So basically they're making another huge wedge, going towards downside until $25 for NVIDIA. So a lot of people might shock about this one, but this is just the beginning. So between mid October to December, something happened, and this area is when the meme basket stock squeeze. And then I'm gonna now go back to GME AMC after, with this one. AMC is definitely not easy stock to track, and I think they made some weird patterns here just to really how do I say, like, confuse retail investors. But as you can see, when you look at NVIDIA, yes, NVIDIA is going down. And then AMC is also having one more final pullback by end of April or possibly May. But yeah, there's AMC earning near May a second. I don't know if that's the correct one, but this is probably estimate. So something, I think from earning, AMC will make a move, but that's the same time when the market will also move here. So this is from end of April to May, and NVIDIA also pops, right? So it looks like they're gonna have a very similar setup. Look at this kind of fractals here. Just 1 second. Look at this same fucking fractals. It making M shape. Look at this NVIDIA. Look at this NVIDIA shape. It looks exactly the same, making M shape. Isn't it weird? So they're gonna run, I think, same, maybe same time, I don't know, but so basically, just to wrap it up, I'm not, just to kind of clarify, market will go down until end of April, right? And they make M shape, like making a double bottom, but making like M shape. I don't know what it's called this, but I've just so AMC also does exactly the same thing. I just don't know how fast they're gonna run this thing, but that's what it looks like. And after that, they're gonna run this thing with this, maybe this one, I don't know, and then maybe crash it after this or something like that. So I still don't know the timing. Maybe this thing can be slow, this thing can be fast. I have no idea. But based on this, based on this, what's going on with the whole the fractals and stuff, it looks like AMC is also tracking 2020 as well, right? This is 2020 chart, and then before we heading into 2021 January squeeze, we are still a little bit behind it, right? So maybe we gotta wait till June and September, and I think possibly around November to maybe December, or maybe if this is early, it could be finished between September to October when this thing happens, and then crash, right? So maybe AMC crash with that. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at in terms of AMC. So AMC, it does have a very weird pattern, but yes, it's making its own wedge, hit this top, and then pop this up here, and then bring the price down. They made it weird, but they bring it price here up to the wedge. Now they're pulling down one more time until the earning possibly. So I think somewhere here. But yeah, it's just running with the cycles, and I'm really curious because right now the price, it says it only goes up to $10, which is there's a gap. I really highly doubt so. When you look at this pattern here, this only goes up to this much, but this goes more than this much, right? So basically the fractal says this goes up about 50%, but this went up about almost 300%. So I think based on this fractals, if we are to see this, we might go above not that much, I don't know. So something triggers here. So I think maybe this go up even higher. So this is just kind of, I'm not talking about the price here. That it doesn't mean that we're gonna go only $10 for AMC in December or then November, whenever things happen. I don't know, October. But I think this will get more be extended, right? So we'll see. But this is just me tracking when the price will move, right? And when you look at this line here, this is a one wedge that we are kind of going down towards early May or end of April. When you're making another wedge with the blue fractals, it seems like they're really setting up. It's like trapping AMC in this box, and they're just making going down this way, and until it's making a wedge, towards this November or October area, that's when this thing start to break. So something will happen here, and then you just watch out how Adam Aaron, I think he start posting something that he's gonna take some ideas to boost the profits and stuff, the revenue, but just watch out his moves around here. And I already post this TA with him, so I think he already knows and stuff like that. I don't know, I have no idea, but anyway, so yeah, watch out for that. Let's go back to GME. So now I want to show you why I think the pullback is coming. I mean, I already show you why I say pullback is coming, but I want to show you with the RSI going back to 2020 cycles, and then why it looks like it's kind of it's going to have some pullback. So just to kind of show you this, on the right side is 2020 cycle here. March earning 2020 have a sharper pullback. Same fractals were used in last year 2024 March, sharper pullback, and then Roaring Kitty got in and then make a giant gamma squeeze. Same thing happened. That's when actually this thing also moved up, and then we went through this whole cycle, and it was a lot longer than I expected. It took about 106 days, but right now it's taking up forever. It's almost 350 days. So it's about 3 times or even more. I think maybe 3 times. Yeah, let's just round it up, 3 times longer than 2020 cycle. So that's why people are exhausted. People are not sure about it. They have no idea what's going on. But some people already know that this is the time to accumulate. So let's have a look at both RSI comparison, and I took a look at this one and broke down with the colors. So this is right now, and this is 2020. I'm just gonna close my window. So just step by step, this is March earning, go up, right? Go up and down. I'm just gonna pull this one a little bit here. So this whole thing was this one. So which means that, as I said, this whole thing is taking 350 days, whereas this one is taking only 100 days. So that means it's like 3.5 times slower than this one. So that's why it's much more stretched out. And also, yeah, and then after that, this one going sideways, which is also this one, it's more stretched out. After that, green box heading into a little bit of a upside, and then have a pullback, right? So which is this box area. So we are still in this almost the final wedge of the the final pullback phase, and that's kind of where we at, in my opinion. But as you can see, RSI is moving up, and when you look at the RSI, so you look at this one. So I'm just gonna show you. I'm gonna tone this one down. So just look at the you can look at the candles here. So from the top here, which is here, right, have up this kind of pullback, right? This kind of pullback, and then pop and pullback. You see this one? That's the one thing that I was kind of looking at, and just look at this one. Just pay attention to this one, this area. That's when you see there's earning and then sharper pullback, and I think that's what RC created just to look like, just to match with the same fractals here. And he knows when is the right time to do it, pull the trigger to create a certain fractals like that. As you can see, this fractals was created here, and they have a sharper pullback, and that was the sort of the final bottom here. I mean, the RSI was already moving up, which means that this was already bottom of RSI, right? And then have a pullback and pushes up, and now it's here. So even though even the price went down lower than before, RSI is already moving up, which means it's somewhere here. I'm gonna actually take a look at this one. 1 second. So let's go back to 4 hours again. Yeah, 1 second. Yes. Okay. So yeah. So to me, I think that's kind of where I think I am. I think like, okay. So this, the way they create this area, the private offerings and the earnings, this fractals was this one. So I'm gonna create a box and then just drop a line here. So look at this RSI, right? After hit the bottom, create RSI like that, right? When you look at this is 1 second. You see how this one, it goes up and down like that? Yeah. So I think it's here, right? And then it's making a wedge here. You see there's a from 2020 April top, you draw a line, it makes a perfect wedge, right? You draw another line, making a perfect wedge. Maybe I'll change the line color a little bit brighter. You can see it better. Right? So it's making a wedge, and then after that, this thing start to pop and then start to rally, right? So so now when you look at where we at, it's the same thing. It's a making a wedge, right? The bottom from the June May, and then recent pop top. You know, when you're making a line, this is making a wedge, almost getting to the close, final, the tipping points, the end of the wedge, right? The triangle formation. So when you align this thing towards earning, where we hit the top, I do expect a kind of like this type of pullback here, right? It makes sense, I think, doesn't it? So I think that's kind of, I thought the way it pushes up and pull back down, it looks like it's very similar to this one. And then this thing pushes up here, as you can see. So I'm gonna drop an arrow here so that you guys can see it better. You know what? I'm gonna just drop, drop this one. Yeah, just too complex. So yeah, this blue box looks same pattern here. After it hit the bottom, it pushes up here. The yellow line is moving up here, but looks like, as you can see, this one hit the bottom, right? The price hit the bottom. Price hit the bottom, pushes up, touching the touching the final, the top of the triangle shaped line. There's the wedge line on the top. Same thing happening here, right? It's a very similar move. So that's why I think, and then as I show you here, NVIDIA is also pulling back by end of April. So it does make sense. And also BYON, something happened with BYON on April 20. I don't know, something happened. I have no idea what's gonna be announced, but based on this fractals, something's gonna happen here and make BYON just crash like crazy, and that's the final bottom. So something is actually happening on April 20th. Maybe it's a acquisition of Bye Bye Baby, but I don't know if it may make sense actually. But something happened. Maybe, I don't know, maybe nothing happens, but it's a market manipulation. I have no idea. But something's gonna happen with BYON after April 20th, I think. And anyway, so they're actually making their own fractals, right? They're gonna announce something, bring the price down, bring short sellers, bring illegal naked short sellers, trap, and then short squeeze, right? I think that's kind of what they're doing here, and I don't know, we'll see. And then but like I said, NVIDIA pullback, BYON sharper pullback, even AMC is pulling back. Everything is pulling back, right? By end of April, that's what it seems like, making a final wedge, and then break it, right? So I think GameStop possibly will have a pullback by end of April as well. Maybe April 29 or whatever. And then we see now, I'm start to seeing some evidence that let me just bring my post about this one. I showed you this one last time. Where's the post here? Did I close this one? 1 second. I have a bunch of windows opened up, so yeah, sorry about that. So I can talk about this one later at the end. But where was the I think somebody mentioned that Roaring Kitty sell off some calls or something. Let me find out. And then the call option is for May 15 or something. I think there's a reason for that one. Let me try to find that. Also, this guy, I don't know who this guy is, but maybe I can read this one as well. He sees something as well, similar pattern. He said nothing will happen April 20th, But I think something's gonna happen to BYON, to be honest. Not with GME maybe, but with BYON. And then there's another guy says about the GME Diamond selling shares. Okay. There's a Grad Connections. I saw somebody post about basically, yeah, I just couldn't find it right now, but I did remember a post that GameStop call options was sold, right? The 5K blocks were sold, right? Sold off, right? And we thought that that's Roaring Kitty. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe that's his. But he's basically if that's he is, he's making us same fractals here. That's pretty much it. He comes in, he just pump a little bit, maybe pull back the thing as what you see here. Okay. So that's kind of what I see here. Once that's done, right? Once that's done, we might see, we start to seeing this upside here. I don't know what this is, but yeah, this is May, right? So let's say, so you have to look at both, together with the, markets and AMC and stuff like that. But you see, there's a pullback by end of April. It goes up and down, boom, right? Shoot it up, right? There's a very similar pattern. Go up, go down twice, and boom, right? And there's one more pullback there too, right? Same thing happening here with AMC, to be honest. It's very interesting how they set it up. So how about one more pullback like that by end of April, or maybe possibly early May, close to the earning, as AMC has its own earning. After hit the bottom, it also does like go up and down, and then boom, like that, right? It has a very similar a pattern at this, towards May area. So I think we might see that, and then to create that fractals, I think maybe that's why Roaring Kitty is building 5K blocks for May OPEX to create this, to prepare this, in my opinion. So that's May, and this is June. And also this guy's, I don't know who this guy is, Biljit or something. Nothing will happen June 20. Yeah, so but I think something's gonna happen with BYON. We'll see. He said TD sequential. I don't know what TD sequential is, but hot towards bear side today, so he cashed out options and buy some shares. He said he agreed that there is a reasonable chance we drop a little bit. I do think that's next dip, given the lineup, Fibonacci time zone. May OPEX lineup will be the last one before we rip up. So yeah, I think there's a people who see things a little bit similar to I do. So we could see a pullback here with the market, NVDA, everything by end of April. Some people said this is kind of like swap, maybe the hedge fund market maker doing their own swap thing here. And then start to prepare for something. So that's kind of what I see here, right? So yeah, the option is definitely hard. I got burned too. I just have to move things here and there and buy some puts, just to balance it out. So anyway, so this is May. So as I wrap this up, by end of April, possibly April 29 or 30s, GME could have a possible pullback, go up and down like that, and something could happen here. I think that maybe Roaring Kitty tweets or something. I think we could expect something to move, or maybe portfolio YOLO tweet. I don't know. I have no idea. Something's gonna trigger, but this is when this thing will start to roll up, and then towards the July. Last post I did mention about what did I mention? I did mention about we could kind of expect some sort of a gap up pop towards the earning for GME, but as I took a look at more deeply, I do think that we could see some sort of this type of move maybe towards August or July. 741, right? July, right? So yeah, so this is May. Have one more pullback towards earning. This thing bring the price up, pushes up. So earning is probably just another earning, maybe nothing crazy, but the cycle, like the cycle wise, this thing roll up towards this area around July 29th, July 30th. That's when I see this gap up, and that's when Ryan Quinn announced his first stake. It lines up here in this year July 29 or something like that. This algo can speed up, but for now that's kind of how I see it. So we'll see based on this entire fractals here. Yeah, maybe it could happen a little bit earlier, maybe in July 21st or something like that, but still something is going to happen in July that bring the price up like that. I don't know what the announcement is going to be, but I think it's possible that maybe that's Roaring Kitty's YOLO post or something, or he's filing with GME maybe more than 5% stake, because that's when this thing happened, right? So Ryan Quinn already announced his stake. It could have a little bit of a move, but when Roaring Kitty announces, let's say 9.6% stake or whatever, more than 5% stake that you have to file SEC filings, something could trigger this, right? That's when our Ryan Quinn announced his stake, create a gap up, and then pull back, right? So something will trigger here, and I think but until then, I think Roaring Kitty will build up his maybe a 5K blocks here and there, run small things here and there, but making a ripple effects and stuff. But yeah, this thing start to roll up towards July, August, 741, and then this is October, and this is December. So there's no really MOAS will happen this year, to be honest with you, but I might be wrong. The final short squeeze will most likely happen towards next year. So this is going to be a little bit of a longer a battle, so just be patient, and I also have to be patient with myself. But yes, just we got like a year or so, maybe a little bit more than a year, but a year. So within this year, it could something happen with this year or next year. I could be wrong, but based on this 2020 cycles fractals, I could expect the final MOAS. We have to wait a little bit, towards next year. So, but this year is gonna be still fun, right? And also AMC. I mean, AMC has been really, really tough. To track these things, and it sucks that AMC hit this level again, but it is what it is. They're really just manipulating the stocks to suppress GameStops and other basket stocks with AMC, as you guys know. So I think the best thing is really I don't know what's the best thing is, maybe buy the dip or something, the lower, if you have shares maybe, but I don't know. But I'm really playing on the option with AMC here, and then I'm really looking for that a perfect timing with when is the right time to buy calls and puts in here and there. But I think this is going to be a time for making a huge gains here, which is about with this fractals is about 400%, but I think this could maybe go even higher, who knows. So something will happen here, but we still got more time. And maybe let me go back to see some other stuff here. So we talk about that. There's hedge fund nationally, security risk. We already know that, so I'll skip this one. We have some bye baby stuff, Bad Bath Beyond stuff, and I think a lot of people were wondering. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, this is like 5K blocks. Yeah, so something like someone sold off and then someone bought it, right? So there's something is definitely happening here. But anyway, yeah. So this guy is prepaying for May 16th. So that's the time frame that I'm looking at is May as well, which is this area. This one, yeah, May 14th. I'm seeing in May 14th. So he's building the options for this one, I think. So pullback, after that go up and down, boom, right? AMC same thing, have a pullback by end of April or early May. After earning go up and down, boom, gap up, right? So as an option trader, I think this is a very important phase. And then also puts here, and then so to go back to the post here, somebody found this interesting post about this. Let me just close some of the things I already saw. So somebody found this one. It says Greg burps the ABC. Okay, this is on Spotify, and they said this was made back in 2021. It says Baby's Back, Pote Building Homes. That's very interesting how they brought Pote here. Buck Bunny, we already know Buck Bunny is for GME stuff. Greg burped ABC for Ryan Cohen. That's crazy. And Power to the Creator. That's kind of GameStop stuff. Bye Bye Baby. That's very interesting. Teddy's Coming to Town. Uncle Carl Will. So I listened to this song, Uncle Carl, because Carl Icahn, we especially back beyond people kind of know Carl Icahn is involved in this play, right? Although he's not really showing any cards right now. But I listened to this song. I was surprised that they already actually talks about Carl Icahn is gonna squeeze the shorts. So listen to this one. So yeah, Uncle Carl will squeeze the shorts. That's crazy. So I didn't listen to everything here, but this seems to be explain everything. Like, we just found out about this one, and it's just crazy how they figured this out just now, and everything makes sense here. All the things that we've been kind of learning about, the Carl Icahns involved possibly, and the Bye Bye Baby, Carve Out, and spin-off, Teddy's, everything is here. So Pulte was the guy that he kind of brings the community together for Florida events and the last Atlanta events, and everything was here. So it seems like, yeah, it was a part of the plan. Very interesting. I wish we could have found this a little bit earlier. It's just too bad that we found this one 2025. Yeah, it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. At least we found this one now. But if we actually were to found this one earlier, I mean, yeah, it could have been crazy. But anyway, and then also one last thing that I want to talk about beside the TA is this one. So this is only for BBBY shareholders. Somebody posted that there's a 3 times more to the fraud, and Cash Patel talks about this, about Ricos, and I think there's maybe video for it. So it's a 3x amount frauded. So there's a speculation that maybe it's $80 per share for fraud for BYON. But if you add if you multiply it by another 3, that gives you 240. And then ABC, I think, also mentioned about oh shit, ABC delete this one. Why he? Yeah, I don't know why he deleted that one. But anyway, so I think ADBC also mentioned about there was a hint for it. So I don't know. That's very interesting. So there's some speculation about that kind of stuff. Also, someone emailed me privately about how BYON the fraud payment. I mean, basically, what he's saying is, I think it's not going to. I think there's going to be 2 different ways. One is like crazy amount of cash for the fraud payments and stuff without shares. That's first thing. So that's the number one. The second one is some cash, shares, and warrants. And I do think that it's, and also he did mention about warrants, and this is something that Jake 2B also mentioned before. Warrants is sort of like a dilution. So if they announce the warrants and give it to shareholders, and if shareholder exercise them into shares, whatever they use the warrants, it basically goes to the company, and because it's part of the dilution. So it makes sense. So even Hertz, they give the shareholders, all shareholders, a lot of warrants, and then that warrants or to warrants were used for the company to help out their the cash and stuff like that. So I think that makes sense. But if they have enough warrants, maybe they don't need to give too many warrants. But we'll see. But in terms of the shares, I've done some DDs and stuff, and I did some of my own research, and then I think it's clear that we could have a possibly like 80% returns of shares in terms of because all shareholders were wondering if we're gonna receive the old amount of equities, right? Whatever they bought before cancellation. And then from my research, this is one of them. This is Act 452 368D reorganization and spin-off. This was posted 17 years ago on YouTube. You can look it up. He says there's an old company and this is new company, right? So if the old company has their own original shareholders, which is BBYQ shareholders, right? For our case, and then if that company spin off and then make a new company, and then transfers certain original assets, such as Bye Bye Baby stuff, 80% control stock, which is also the common stocks, also it has the vote rights. That 80% has to come to the original shareholders. So this is one of the acts 452. I know there's a different acts, and some people said maybe you could have a more than 80%. So, but I'm just saying, I think I could see a way go like that, because I see there's a much more a very different way of doing it, instead of like doing it, compared to Hertz, because Hertz was pretty much straightforward. Some investor came in, a group of investor came in, and then they bought the company or something like that, and then shareholder received whatever they could get. But the BBBY is very different, I think. So I don't think we can compare to other Chapter 11 reorganization cases. I think BBY itself has a very special a case, butterfly transactions with Canada, much more complex, I think, than other Chapter 11 cases. But I do think that the old shareholders BYON could have 80% control stocks return to their account. I think there's possibility, because I see this type of stuff, and then I think it makes sense. So, and then this guy is saying maybe more than 8% will be distributed to the old shareholders. Other classes creditor could have received common stock instead of repayment, so thus will be a part of the 80% distribution. So so that's kind of why I did share with this one. So we'll see. I think we need to be at least a 50% threshold to meet annual requirements. So I think we'll see. Like nobody know, everything is really just speculation here. But based on my research, I think stockholder can receive maybe more than 50% or possibly 80% control stock shares, and then the rest is maybe cash, and then I don't know how much is cash. People said maybe $85, $80, more than $100 or $200-300. But if we were to give more than $200-300, that's basically he's saying maybe that could be just kind of value for the value of the company, right? And maybe it could be wrong, right? But the company also has to make money. So I think it's possible that we could get the shares and we could get the cash, but I don't think it could be like crazy amount of money, like 400, 500, like that. I think it could be company has to make their own profits, and they have to, they're going to work with the shareholders. That's what active investors, therefore they turn around the company and stuff like that. But I think at least, we're going to get a good chunk of money, I think, and then shares, and then warrants. So I think number two, in my opinion, is though, the way. And some people also mentioned that Control Chaos said nobody actually knows. Yeah, that's right. My guess is the cash from fraud and equity and chance of warrants, right? Or maybe digital token like buy baby, the tokenized shares, buy into new co, right? So I do think that there's a possibility. He also says so $100 cash share with $100 starting price, $51 worth of warrants, something like that could be possible, and it could be 351 payout total, maybe. So second, BBY is 368, which means we will receive either all shares or cash and shares from the reorganization large fraud payout. So yeah, so I do see there's a yes, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if we receive the full amount of shares, like 100%, I mean, that's amazing. But at least between 50-80%, but I think 80%, I'm betting on 80%. We'll see. But yes, I think we're gonna get shares, and I think that's the most important thing. And active investor like Ryan Quinn, I don't think he's gonna just give away only like cash. I think there should be shares involved, because as you look at the Teddy book, oh my god, this chief is like crazy. So I think when you look at the Teddy book, I remember one of the pages he mentioned about how you put the money into that kind of the pig, right? The piglet, what do you call that? The bank, right? Pig bank. And then basically he's kind of showing like you accumulate shares with cash, whatever, you buy into different companies and stuff like that. So and then I think he also talks about buying shares, what that means for the company, what that means for the shareholders. I think he kind of talks about that, from the Teddy book. So I think shares should be, there should be a shares, there should be shares given for sure. I think there's a hint, and as an active investor, I think they want you to work with shareholders, not just like giving you cash and hey, fuck you, you're done. I don't think he's kind of that kind of type of guy, right? So I think definitely there's gonna be shares. So I agree with that. There's gonna be shares involved, and I just don't know how much the fraud payout is going to be. So everyone just kind of speculate. At MSCC, the shipping company, they settle. We don't know yet how much it is. It's confidential, but people said it's probably more than 10 times. That's usually from the initial claim. When you look at the other, the fraud cases, so the initial claim was about 300 something million. Times 10 is about 3 billion, right? So I think about 2 to 3 billion might be the settlement from the MSCC shipping company, that they delayed that the product to ship to Bed Bath & Beyond, right? So one of the, and then there's another company called Evergreen. I think it's a Taiwanese company, and then I think they're also going through that kind of lawsuit as well. So something could come out from there. We still don't know yet about how much the settlements the old executives did with Bed Bath & Beyond. So we don't, if everything counts, I think it should be more than yes, like maybe 50, 80, I don't know, but we'll see. So I think a lot of people actually share their opinions, so I really appreciate that, you guys sharing your opinions. And then yeah, that's I think pretty much it to cover today. GME, AMC, BYON, and also we took a look at NVDA to look at the bigger picture, overall market cycles. And then I'm really to be honest, I'm really curious what BYON is going to be announced, what BYON is going to announce on April 20th, because I think something's going to happen to BYON. And then I'm really curious how, because it just, yeah, like Marcus Lemon's buying like a lot of shares, insider buying happening here, as I show you. All these things happen before this bull run. They sell off at the top, right? So something definitely is cooking up. If they're selling shares right now from BYON insiders, yes, maybe it's not good, but they're buying tons. I'm seeing this repetition over and over again. And then as soon as BYON kept, drop like maybe $1.50, $1.70, I think I'm gonna start accumulate BYON as well. And this is just me, no financial advice, but if and then something's gonna kick off here, and then bring the price at least up to $100, where the gap is. And based on this TA, based on how big they want to make this run, if they ended up really pulling this back to $50 or something like that, I do expect this thing could touch like 300 or 400, as you can see here. All this line here since 2018, 2020, 2026 or 5, this thing is going to line up here. Actually, it's moving slowly. This this, as you can see from here, also 2013, 2018, 2020, 2025 or 2026, all this top is getting slowly increased after they tank it down this much. So I think we're gonna see a repetition of this one. Maybe they tank it down, they go up higher, tank it down, go even higher. You know what I mean? Maybe they just go up and down like that, making this kind of recycle this and over. Maybe things could change, who knows, right? Maybe they could start to change the algo here from here or something, I don't know. But yes, definitely, I think I'm just telling you that I think end of April is the bottom. Yeah, it kind of shows here. I mean, except for NVDA. I mean, NVDA is gonna tank. But overall market wise, I think that's kind of what I see here. And then yeah, short squeeze happened here. So I think that's why NVIDIA start to liquidate. Maybe a bank collapse, hedge fund collapse, margin call. All these things could happen this area, which is between October to 2026 August, July, August. That's the final bottom, and then slowly moving up. So yeah, this is going to be a little bit long ride, but I think we are pretty much almost there now. The question is when Bed Bath Beyond will come out, or Bye Bye Baby come out. I think we will find out by April 20 from Beyond. If not, we'll have to wait until this time, which is next year, maybe somewhere here when short squeeze triggers. So maybe somewhere in July, 741, right? Ryan Cohen always talks about 741. So maybe next year, July. So we'll see. I don't know. I hope we don't really wait until next year. I mean, how long do we have to wait? Like we've been waiting for like more than 3 years now. 2 years now. So like it's like 3 years now. Heading to 3 years now. So yeah, I really hope that some payout comes out from BBBY, but if not, we might have to wait till next year, July. So that's just my speculation. So I hope I'm wrong on that one. So but yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next update. Thank you. Have a good night.